the game of the year, Colorado State. Colorado wins 43-35 in a double overtime thriller. And this game had everything. They had the pregame talk to the dirty hits in the game, the penalties all over the place, Shedeur Sanders engineering the drive. I mean, what a game. Let's go ahead and get into it as things break down here in this Colorado and Colorado State matchup. So you got Jay Norvell's comments, obviously, before the game, talking about how when his mother taught him to speak to grown men with their hat and glasses off, he was just poking a bear, right? Deion goes out, literally puts his glasses brand on sale, racks up $1 million in the first day. You got Deion showing up on the Pat McAfee show in the middle of Colorado, where Pat McAfee show is at, and just really harnessing the hype and the energy for this football game as it comes in. And you got to respect Prime. You got to respect Prime for being like, hey, my mama didn't teach me to let someone bark at me and not say something back. And he was even supporting Jay Norvell. He had, he said he had some conversations with him when he first got to Colorado. And he said Jay Norvell was very nice to him. Him and Jay Norvell actually were kind of hitting it off. And he said, I'm always going to root for a guy of his stature in the same state as me, coaching like I am, to be able to do big. But when it came down to business, Deion handled exactly what he had to handle. And we know this is a rivalry game, right? Very chippy, very dirty between these two, loaded with penalties and absolute tension. Colorado State had 17 penalties for 182 yards. Colorado with 10 penalties for 87. So a big lack of discipline on both of these teams. But I got to take a cheap shot myself at Jay Norvell's coaching and at the actual culture and attitude of Colorado State in this game. Your coach is already talking beforehand. You're bringing your players in. You got Kamara slamming Shedeur Sanders to the ground with all of his weight, holding his arms in so he can't defend himself. A lot like, realistically, when Drew Brees got absolutely crushed in one of his last few seasons, came back from injury, had the collapsed lung. You got Henry Blackburn taking the cheap shot on Travis Hunter. I mean, what the hell are you doing there? And you can tell he's just kind of walking off the sidelines, walking off the field, not really looking back, not really giving a damn about what just happened. A lot of people have been saying it, and I got to echo it. Jay Norvell, you were either coaching this into them or condoning it. And I'd like to say it was both. 17 penalties for 182 yards. You're basically giving up 10 yards a penalty. And you could easily look back and say, if you knock off just a few of those, just a few, Colorado State could realistically have got back into this game. But the better, more disciplined, more talented, more well-rounded football team led by primetime Deion Sanders absolutely came out and did what they had to do. All respect to Shedeur Sanders here. Losing Travis Hunter early on, and he still goes off. Travis Hunter was out for most of the game. And Travis Hunter is clearly one of Shedeur Sanders' favorite targets. We know he's a two-way player in the Heisman conversation. That cheap shot happens, and you're like, ooh, all right. So now they don't have one of their best players. It didn't matter for Shedeur. Shedeur still goes off in the game. 38 for 47, 81% completion, his highest completion percentage since TCU. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception that I really didn't care for. Kind of thought it was a ticky-tack interception call. Again, 348 yards, a 45-yard pass, which was his longest of the night. You got a 166.9 quarterback rating. Now, yes, his quarterback rating is going down as the season goes on, but hey, it was week 1, now it's week 2, now it's week 3. People have tape. They kind of are understanding what's going to happen with Colorado here. But Shedeur Sanders, man, on the 2-yard line, you couldn't have asked for a more perfect punt from Colorado State to get them into that position. Shedeur Sanders, 98 yards, clutching it up, going for 2 to send it to overtime. And you have Coach Prime just being an absolute savage here, taking the ball in overtime, and he said it week after week. As long as the ball is in Shedeur's hands, I know we're fine. I know we're going to win. You usually defer when you're in overtime. See if you need a touchdown, see if you need a field goal, and kind of even understand just what that offense is going to give you first. Shedeur Sanders had a Heisman-defying moment, leading them down the field, 98 yards, tying the game up, going for 2, sending it to overtime. And you really just talk about Colorado being tested, really, for a third straight game. I know they blew out Nebraska 36-14, but Colorado's defense was a big catalyst as to why they were able to make things happen. Shiloh Sanders, absolutely on another level. You have him. This is what I love about Shiloh. Shiloh was tapped in. He read CSU for 2 straight plays. He almost has the interception that was close to the ground, literally the play before the pick six. Next play, he's in the press conference, knew he's like, I'm going to be more aggressive. I'm going to be more aggressive. I'm going to finally jump one and take it to the house. Jumps it, takes it to the house, pick six, first touchdown of the game. Almost has obviously another interception when he has the one before that he drops kind of close to the ground. That was a little tough, for him to rally in there. And then he has the forced fumble. Him being inserted in such key moments was literally the difference here for this Colorado team. Of course, you see the offense struggle, though, early on. Shedeur Sanders, again, with that ticky-tack interception, and then Travis Hunter fumbles. It was returned for a touchdown. They didn't have their first play in plus territory literally until halfway through the third quarter. You throw a pick to turn around and take it away with another pick six. Travis Hunter fumbles to basically lose your lose your turnover battle and your defensive points battle. Then you lose Travis Hunter. I mean, the odds were stacked time and time and time again here with Colorado. And they escaped this football game because of better coaching, because of better situational football. Back to the offense struggling a little bit. They threw the ball 47 times in this game, way more than they ran it. Not a very balanced attack here, but Deion had to come back from 11 down. Shedeur had to come back from 11 down. You see not Marvin Harrison. You see Michael Harrison, the tight end, plugging in, doing things in place of Travis Hunter, having two very big scores. And Colorado has now been tested in 3 straight games. They continue to defy the odds and adversity with more and more and more coming their way. Colorado was 1-64 in games which they trailed by 10 or more points, and they won this damn football game. Now, the biggest unfortunate part is they're going to lose Travis Hunter. He's not going to be available, of course, for the Oregon game that everybody's going to have their eyes on. They turn right around and play Caleb Williams and USC, which everybody's going to have their eyes on. Those will probably be the 2 most watched games of the year. You have Shedeur against Bo Nix, and then you have Shedeur against Caleb Williams. Those are my 3 favorite college quarterbacks right now. And they will play over the course of the next 2 weeks. And unfortunately, Colorado will not have one of their best players, their two-way player. Colorado was getting gashed on a lot of over-the-middle routes, underneath routes in this game. And even Deion was like, damn, are we finally going to catch on to an underneath route? Like, that's an under route. How many times are you going to let him run it? They do adjust, though. Shiloh Sanders with the great forced fumble at a much-needed time. Shiloh Sanders just absolutely doing the things that he needs to do. Shedeur Sanders, Xavier Weaver. You got Michael Harrison. Colorado is the best story in sports right now, let alone the best story in college football. And my eyes will be glued to Colorado and Oregon this coming weekend, and absolutely inseparable from the television when they play USC in just a couple of weeks. That dude should be suspended. Let's see. I got some more comments here. Colorado is the most popular sports team in America. Kawhi Leonard went to the game. He doesn't even show up to his own game. So that's what you meant there, Chris. Okay, I got you. That dude should be suspended. Yeah, I'm glad Kamara got thrown out. I also think Henry Blackburn should have some sort of reprimand towards him. Travis Hunter literally has a lacerated kidney. Like that's not a simple thing to actually take hold of. He's going to be out in the biggest games of the year. Not having Travis Hunter against USC and against Oregon could be the difference between Colorado possibly making a dark horse push for the top 4 and playing for a national championship. I'm just being honest. But yes, they are the best college football story right now. Prime is the hottest story in sports right now. Colorado is the hottest story in sports right now. If he beats Oregon, he will be the first pick in the 2024 NFL draft. Did Caleb Williams die? Let's be real, bro. Caleb Williams is number 1 overall. But if Shedeur, for some reason, does beat Oregon and beats USC, hell, I might put him as a number 1 overall pick.